Hi boys and girls, in art we have been talking about the elements of art, and most recently we talked about space, or showing things that are close or far away. So today we're going to do some extra practice at home using a ruler or anything straight and your colors and a pencil to draw your name or a word in perspective, or showing it getting further away in space. So to get started, the first thing we need to do is write a name or a word in bubble letters. I would recommend doing a shorter word. If you have a longer name, use a nickname, or you could do something like love or whatever you want. But first we'll need to write them in block letters. So to do that, I do have a trick if that's something that you think is difficult. Just draw it really lightly with your pencil because we're going to be erasing the letters that you're making. This is just if you don't know how to do block letters or bubble letters. And I'm using my son's name because it's nice and short. And then you're going to trace around those letters that you drew, kind of like they're the skeleton, and you're putting the clothes on around it. And this part you can push harder because we're going to be erasing the inside part and not this outer outline. So once you've done that, you'll just erase the inside and you'll have your bubble letters. So again, that's just kind of a trick to do if that is something that is tricky for you. Of course, you can practice before you actually do it. And I'm just going to flip mine over here so I don't have to spend all that time erasing that. So once you have your name on the paper, you're going to make a little dot somewhere else, and that's going to be the vanishing point, or this dot that it's all going to be disappearing to. And so at this point, you're going to want your ruler. And if you don't have a ruler at home, you just improvise because we're not using it to measure with today. We're just using it to have a nice straight edge. So you can use any other piece of paper or book or anything that's straight. So I have a piece of mail here that'll work just fine. So what you're going to do is find all the corners or edges of your letters, and those are going to line up with your dot. And you're going to draw a straight line along your straight edge that goes right to that dot for every single corner or line. So I'm going to do all the parts of the letter T right now. And then I have this part right here, and I don't want to cut through my letter T, so I am going to line it up, but then just stop, because that's actually going to be behind it. I'm going to keep going for the rest of the letters here and lining up your straight edge or your ruler on the dot and the corners and just making your nice straight line to go with that. Now if you miss a line here or there, that's going to be fine. Some of the lines won't work the best, so I just might want to kind of skip those ones. But basically we want it to look like it's growing bigger and coming at us from far away. And now the O is a little tricky because it doesn't have any corners, but I'm just going to go with the two edges there. Okay. So you can already see how it looks like it is bursting forward in 3D at us or getting closer from farther away, which is what we talked about with space and those different artist tricks. Now I do have one here I showed you that is colored, and you can see I used a little bit of shading, so that's something you can do, you don't have to, but I showed it getting darkest when it's further away and then getting lighter, so kind of like it's growing at us here. That's just an option you could do to kind of push that effect a little more. You can color it however you want, of course, and then if bubble letters are too tricky for you and you try and try but it's too hard, you could also do shapes, and the same kind of thing. You're just going to make those shapes look like they are growing and getting closer to us from further away, all going to that same dot though. So I have my shapes on my page here, my dot, and then I'm going to make those lines from the corners, but again, I'm being careful not to go over any of my shapes there. And the star has all kinds of different ones to do, even the inside, because those are a corner or an edge. So you can see how it's going to look, and I'd like you guys to color these. Again, it doesn't have to be showing me shading, but I should be able to see word or shapes that are getting closer from far away. All right, wait to see what you guys create.